So, a few days ago, I released a video talking about Heavy Division releasing a freeware standalone 787. That video did really well, and I reached out to the Heavy Division team to answer some of my questions. So I'll bring you a little update there today. On top of that, we've got more Microsoft Flight Sim news, including a very unique aircraft that's been announced and will be coming to us on November 4th. So let's get right into it. Okay, so we'll kick it off with the Heavy Division 787-9. Now, if you'd like to know what this aircraft is all about, please do check out my other video if you haven't seen it. Here's a link in the top right corner. This is sort of a follow-up from that. Now, I'm speaking to a guy that goes under the Discord name of How Now Brown Cow. He basically just got back to me to answer a few questions I had in that video. So we'll kick it off with Xbox. They say that they're unlikely to support Xbox at this moment. This is because they use the same license as fly-by-wire A320NX, which is GPL. Therefore, Microsoft and Asobo are quite wary of these licenses, which probably means they won't be able to get it into the official marketplace. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a total write-off, but it doesn't seem too positive. So if you wanted this aircraft to come over to Xbox, for now, that doesn't seem to be the case. So I'm terribly sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Now, if you watched my previous video on it, you would remember I said they need to reach a 90% standard of normal operating procedures in order to progress on to work on the 787-9, where it sort of becomes their priority. At the moment, they said they can't put a solid percent on progress, but the main focus right now is expanding the dev team to have more hands on deck. They understand it's an immense amount of work, but they look like they're steering the ship well. They don't have any renders publicly available yet, but there should be some hints on the Discord server, so please do join it, and hopefully we'll see some renders soon. And finally, as I said on my previous video, the recently unlocked config files from Asobo as part of Sim Update 10 allowed them to work on the 787 to a much higher level. Hopefully, this should improve the workflow on the Boeing 787-9. With the major things that need to be made by them being the 3D model and of course changes in the airframe/flight model. I know it's not all good news, but it's realistic news. I'm still very excited with this project. I've got a good outlook for it. You know, I am very optimistic for it. I imagine it will go through. Just going by what the Heavy Division team have done with the past, when they have been confined with what they can do with the 787, for example, it is really promising. Not a total write-off for Xbox, but it's still not overtly positive news there, is it? Now, moving over to some other add-ons, Miltech Simulations, who have worked on Microsoft Flight Sim add-ons before, although in the form of aircraft carriers, are going further into the world of military aviation with the announcement of their MV-22 Bravo Osprey, most commonly just referred to as the Osprey for obvious reasons. Now, this is a very iconic aircraft. It's a tilt rotor aircraft, which means it can sort of do what a helicopter and a conventional propeller aircraft can do, therefore meaning it is an incredibly versatile aircraft. I do believe as well, I've had a few of them fly over me before, but I do believe from what I've heard they're also pretty dangerous aircraft. They like to go wrong pretty often, but they certainly are iconic, so I don't think you can write it off like that. Anyway, this will be coming to Microsoft Flight Sim on November 4th. This was announced on their website sort of just out of the blue, so I was quite shocked to see it. It's been developed in partnership with a developer by the name of Mayadi. He's worked on the Osprey before. I was actually watching some old reviews of this aircraft on Flight Sim X and P3D. I believe it was freeware back then, but don't hold me to it. And it was pretty good on there, so I imagine it should be fantastic on Microsoft Flight Sim. It includes an accurate external model, although in my opinion from the screenshots the textures could do with a bit of an upgrade, but who knows, we haven't actually had it released yet. It will be released and sold exclusively by Orbex and the Microsoft Flight Sim marketplace for both PC and Xbox. It's really nice that some more unique developers are actually looking at Xbox as another platform, because I do know a lot of you fly on it, so it's great news there. I don't really know where this falls in terms of how realistic it is, but from the website they seem to be modelling some pretty advanced features, such as stressing the engine, an accurate simulation of auto hover, and full simulation of BFWS, which is blade, fold and wing stow procedures, which is basically just putting the blades away and folding them out. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's even accurate simulation of the gearing system, allowing for one engine operations at reduced performance. So it's clear they've gone for a pretty high level here. You know, I'm quite excited to see it, and being available on PC and Xbox is a very nice thing to see. Coming to us November 2022, I believe the date was the 4th of November. It looks great on the screenshots, but as I said, the external textures do look a bit sloppy in places. But to be fair, that's only me moaning. I don't think that really is going to push anyone away from this product, even in its current state. It's good news for everyone. Now moving over to the CJ Simulations Eurofighter Typhoon, you've probably seen it in the back of this video already, but it's been released. Now I will be reviewing this project, but I'm not going to be reviewing it yet, just because I'm waiting for the sounds to be added to give it a full in-depth review. You can pick it up for 25 great British pounds on the Just Flight website. I believe it's also been released on the Microsoft Flight Sim Marketplace for both PC and Xbox. It's certainly good fun to fly, but if you want a review, just wait a few more weeks until we get the sounds. I'll review it properly there. And finally, for those of you that love the Fenix A320, it's seen an update. It's been a pretty big update. I've really enjoyed it. Definitely improved my performance. But it doesn't just stop at performance. Of course it doesn't. It's the Fenix team. They've done plenty to it. And you can download it now via the installer. The full changelog is available on their system, but they've definitely improved the flight model, taking special notice to landing with flare and rollout, as well as looking at the flaps and sorting out excessive nose-down ballooning in manual flight and auto flight. There's also been some great changes to volume, although some people have been complaining and said that wind is a bit too noisy now, and the cockpit has even been brightened. This update is available. It's been out for a few days now. I quite like it. It's always nice to see the Fenix team update. They don't like small updates, do they? They seem to like to fix a lot in one update. Definitely a big performance boost for me. I really like it. My biggest problem with the Fenix A320ceo was performance. At times it was a bit too laggy for me. While this hasn't been a groundbreaking update in terms of performance, it does feel a bit more stable. Definitely less stuttery brakes, which is always very nice. Although FPS is still probably the lowest for any add-on aircraft of this calibre that I have. But to be fair, for its level of detail, I think it is worth it, especially now. Nice to see they've worked on it. If you fly the Fenix A320, be sure to leave your thoughts on this update down below. From me today, that is all. Thank you so much for watching. That's all of your Pilot Stud content for October. I've run out of videos to make now, so we're going to take a few days off. I'd just like to say a big thank you. It's been a really good month for my channel, so welcome to all the new subscribers, and a big thank you to all of those that have stuck with me. It really does mean a lot. Of course, coming in November, we've got the Sim Update 11, the 40th anniversary update. If you want to see all the planes that are coming to that, click this link in the top right corner now. But from me today, thank you so much as always. I'll see you around. Bye bye.